EPG program in Japanese. Welcome back to paper 5 module 20 communication through translation. Honyaku tsujite no communication, learn while practicing patent, and we are into the third module of this series. I have this paper is written by me with Surabhi, and acknowledgement goes to Anu Kumari, trainee in the ongoing training translation program. Let's recapitulate what we have done in the previous module. The process is too long, means when we apply the techniques, we find that the process is not so simple. It appears too long. I will advise you to have patience and proceed step by step. Simple examples of scope of patent will help ascertain the applicability of techniques. The steps involved in the process were as follows. You can have different combinations, but the steps which were used were segmentation, simplification of the segments, frame identification, frame transfer. 5W1H was applied for intra-transpositioning of the segments, and again 5W1H for overall transpositioning. It was found that segmentation is quite crucial, quite important. Use hit and trial when logic application is quite difficult. Topic or subject may have to be derived from the title of the invention in many cases, rather in most of the cases. And the last segment, that is O Tokcho Tosuru, is patent specific writing style and can be treated as domain specific universal unit. It may be translated first and can be translated as this patent deals with, and then it can be connected to the remaining part by wherein. Parallel examples and elemental relation help in deciphering the equivalent when dictionary or other resources do not help. Such technical domains require good knowledge of basics. Such means the patent or legal or medical. So one has to be very clear that the grammar, expressions, units, frame capturing, 5W1H application, transpositioning, etc. These things are the basics should be very clear to the translator. Now in this particular module, we are already into the third in this series, so I believe you already have some good amount of familiarity with the patent. So let's try some more examples of the scope of patent which are considered a bit difficult. I'm sure you'll find them simple now, though our simplification of procedure will continue in this module also. Scope of patent claim. Yeah, if you look at this, it looks like something black. Well, to me, even the visibility is an issue, but yes, it's too black. Can we simplify it? Yeah, there are too many claims, one, and then may appear difficult. But if let's see the next slide. We are trimming it down. Scope of patent claim. Yeah, this slide looks too complicated, too black, too many Chinese characters. Let's try to do something with this. If we see carefully, there are things which we can take separately. For example, Tokyo Seikyu no Hai and Seikyu Ko. Ichi ni sanshi is coming. Ichi ni sanshi go made go is up to go. It is coming. These were discussed as units in the previous module, so we can skip easily. Now if we remove this and remove all those Seikyu Ko, Nisan Shigo, now look at it, this looks quite trimmed, visibility is good, and if you see, try to read the sentences, for example the third and the fourth para, almost same. So this will give you a comfort that you can attempt it. So let's deal with these sentences covering the scope of patent one by one now. First is the, we have picked up the sentence and we are trying to apply the 5W1H on the first sentence. You have, if you have the readability issue, you can look into the dictionary, but it's not so difficult. San is the acid, san hense, then enso ka is one, then pori orefin, o enki sebushitsude chuwashi, mizuni bunsan sasete, naru suise jushi bunsan sose butsu. We are trying 5W1H, and the first question is, yes, I have Surabhi with me to read out the questions. Yeah. Yes, Surupi?
Nanini suite.
And the answer is, nani ni suite. What are you talking about? So the last word, that is suise, jushi, bunsan, sosebutsu. So basically sosebutsu, rest is the adjective, and the term should be actually available in the dictionary. If you don't get the term, then suise is one, jushi is one, then you can get sosebutsu is one. So rest is bunsan, that is dispersion. What is the next question?
Sochte.
Okay, sochte. Okay, she wants me to find out what next or what more. Okay, then there is san, hense, ensoka, porif. Actually, this is ABCD. It's one compound. O, enki sebutsu, sebushitsu de chuwashi. So O, B de chuwashi, or O, and you are applying. You can replace it or some bushitsu de chuwashi. And then after that, it is getting connected te naru. That means te naru in this case. And the equivalent is given here. If we connect it with the previous one, aqueous resin dispersion composition was the previous one. Shte naru is actually picked up from the second clause, formed by neutralizing the acid modified chlorinated polyolefin with basic substance. And yes, next question.
Dono yoni naru.
Okay, we have seen in the previous modules that you can put any number of questions, but now here she's trying to put the question which is the right question only, and the answer is Mizuni bunsan sasete naru, and that gets connected here, dispersing in water, and this bunsan sasete naru te naru is getting as formed by here. The sentence outcome is aqueous resin dispersion composition formed by neutralizing the acid modified chlorinated polyolefin base with basic substance and dispersing in water. In this dispersing aqueous resin dispersion composition, this dispersion composition, so dispersion itself is a noun and composition defines that. So composition can be dropped or only composition can be retained. In this case, it is better to retain dispersion because then it identifies the quality also. Now let's see what we got. This is the sentence we got. Let's do some fine tuning, and the fine tuning it the last what we had learned about the patent. This patent deals with the particular thing, that a composition. So this patent deals with something composition. Now next part wherein is not required here because which is quite easy to connect. So which is formed by neutralizing, so we can use which is in place of wherein here. Let's see other sentences. This is the second sentence here. It's san hense enso ka polyolefin ka. Now something else comes. It's polypropylene oyobi propyren alpha olefin kyojugotai kara erabareru sukunakutomo isshu ni taishi alpha beta fuhova carbon san oyobi sono. So it's too much, there is one ni taishi, then something, then oyobi sono, again it is san mu suibutsu kara erabareru sukunakutomo issue oyobi issue o 0.1 naishi 0.0% グラフト15教授語してなることを特徴とする請求項1に記載の創生物。Once you get used to some of the expressions or some of the words, it won't trouble you so much. For example, 0.1 to 10 weight percent graft Q15 is actually copolymerization and graft copolymerization. So basically it is polymerization. And why should you worry about 0.1 to 10 weight percent? While translating, this can be replicated in the target language. But while translating, during the process of translation, you can just imagine that there is some figure and there is some type of polymerization. So it's basically polymerization. Issue o polymerize shite naru koto tokcho to suru, and tokcho to suru we have already done. Tokcho to suru seikyu ko ichi ni kisai no sosebutsu. Okay, let's try two processes on this sentence. You will understand that there are various ways to handle it, and you can adopt the way which you find it convenient. First of all, let's try to simplify by substituting ABC for the words which are difficult to even read or difficult to even understand. These are ABC for polyolefin or propylene alpha olefin or alpha beta fuhova carbonsan. And we have already done this. Koto tokcha to suru, seikyu ko ichi ni kisai no, so sebutsu. So let's do it as unit. And the principle here is that unfamiliar words which cause some degree of difficulty to reading, you substitute these words, these nouns with ABCD or XYZ, and this serves or this helps. The translation process now is the substitution and the unit 5W1H and then the frame. So again, yes, Surubi, can you read out the question?
Nani suru?
Naru, that is formed.
Nani ga suru?
So you have to define. So it is san hense ensoka orefin
Dono yoni?
graft kyoju goshte.
Nani o graft kojo goshte?
Here it helps. Nani o, so CO, because C was already defined. So CO kyoju goshte, and the outcome of this is acid modified chlorinated polyolefin is formed by graft copolymerization of C with 1. With 1 means it has to be defined, not so difficult. You can always substitute the content of C later on. So by applying the frame, subject, object and verb, by applying this technique, the subject and object and verb is clear now. Let us apply 5W1H again for transpositioning. And as I said here that CO is getting, if you see carefully, CO is getting translated as off C. Suppose I say banana or taveru, so we don't say off banana, we say eat banana. So it's going direct object. In this particular case, it's not going as direct object because this is not translated as direct verb in English. It's polymerization. It's not polymerize C. If you make it verb, then it is polymerize C. Now again, let's do the transpositioning. And okay, first question.
Nani ga naru?
It's something, san hense ensoka polyolefin. So that's acid modified chlorinated polyolefin is formed.
Dono yoni?
C oyobi sono sanmusui butsu o butsui kara erabareru sukunakutomo issue o 0.1 naishi 10%. So the translation is formed by graft copolymerization of 0.1 to 10 weight percent of at least 1, and the rest is compound selected. This compound is coming, we'll explain it later, is coming for shu from among C and its acid anhydrides.
Soshite?
Okay, sukunakutomo issue ni taishi, so with at least 1 compound.
Nani no issue?
Okay, so A oyobi B kyoju go tai kara erabareru sukunakutomo issue. So with at least 1 compound selected from A and B copolymers. Now shu is translated is its variety, while when you come across this word here first time, then you think in your mind it's variety, but when you read the context, you'll find it's should be replaced by something from the context. In this particular case, it's getting replaced by compound. The initial translation is acid modified chlorinated polyolefin is formed by graft copolymerization of 0.1 to 10 weight percent of at least 1 compound selected from among C and 0.1 to 10 weight percent of at least 1 among its office wrong here. It's acid anhydrides with at least 1 compound selected from A and B copolymers. Just imagine when we started reading the Japanese, it was quite complicated. Then we simplified it. You could translate this. Now again, if you go to the previous slide, you'll find the English was quite understandable, quite comprehensive, and here it is getting complicated. And just see one step ahead. We are putting the units back. Let's see that in the sentence. See, the unit was koto tokchoto suru, seikyu ko ichi ni kisai no sose butsu. So this patent deals with this much we had done earlier also. The composition as described in claim 1. You may have this clause coming again and again. O tokchoto suru seikyu ko ichi naishi go matawa ichi to ni, or it could be ni only. So there could be various combinations, but this part seikyu ko ni kisai will remain common. So the composition as described in claim 1 wherein is the normal one. So this is again a patent specific style. So this was the initial translation. Now let's place back the elements that were substituted. That means alpha beta, unsaturated carboxylic acid, polypropylene, and propylene alpha olefin back for ABC. And the fine tuning is this patent deals with it comes here and wherein comes here. So this makes the sentence complete. So this patent deals with the composition as described in claim 1, wherein claim 1 is also coming back here, wherein acid modified chlorinated polyolefin is formed by graft copolymerization of 0.1 to 10 weight percent of at least one compound selected from among alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acid and 0.1 to 10 weight percent of at least one among its acid anhydrides, with at least one compound selected from is not required here. So out of polypropylene and propylene alpha olefin copolymers. There are a few mistakes here, but if you see, if I read it carefully, it will make some sense or some flow, though you may find it again difficult. So even in English, when English is known to us, this sounds quite difficult. So this needs to be handled with care in segments. Then there will be no problem. Let's see the next example, and this example is too small, so let's do it today in a very simple way. First is the same compound, that is san hense ensoka polyolefin no enso ganyuritsu. So some difference is coming. Ganyuritsu ga jugo naishi sanjugo ju ryo percent de aru seikyu ichi matawa seikyu ni. Matawa ni only is written here. Matawa ni kisai no sosebutsu. So if we put simple questions, it may solve the problem. So yes, Surabhi, why don't you do it complete? Okay, let me ask the questions. In this sentence, nam percent aru?
Jugo to
Jugo naishi
sanjugo
juryo percent. Naniga nam percent? Naniga?
Engan yuritsuga.
Enso ganyuritsuga. So chlorine content. None, no. Okay, I'll read san hense ensoka polyolefin no. So it's acid modified chlorinated polyolefin. Chlorine content is one, 15 to 35 weight percent is another one, and the unit remains seikyu ichi matawa ni kisai no sosebutsu. Not so different from what we have done in the previous one. The composition as described in claim 1 or 2. In the previous one, it was only one claim probably. It could be 1 to 10. It can be 1 and 2. It could be 1 or 2. So this patent deals with the composition. Fine, because that is there in the title. Described in claim 1 or 2, wherein chlorine content in acid modified chlorinated polyolefins is 15 to 35 weight percent. The technique can also be applied in this particular case. These techniques can also be applied in a reverse order. That means instead of doing unit and then 5W1H, you can do 5W1H first and then do the unit. Or sorry, this is given here 5W1H and unit. This can be reversed. That means unit can be taken out first and then apply 5W1H. Maybe I believe that would be a easier technique once you get used to the units. This also seems simple, quite same as the previous one. Okay, first question.
Nandearu.
Okay, nandearu. So it's something called ichiman naishi ichiman gosen.
Naniga.
Ichiman naishi jugoman. Okay, ichiman naishi jugoman dearu. Naniga juryo heikin bunshiryo ga.
Nanno.
This is same. So san hense ensoka polyolefin You need not read all these again and again. Next time when it comes in the paragraph, you can simply say olefin while translating acid modified chlorinated polyolefin, complete one. Okay, let's try to join. Let's go for the unit, and unit is almost same. Seikyu ko ichi naishi san no izure ka ni kisai no sousebutsu, and that gets translated as the composition as described in any of the claims 1 to 3. So it's claim S is missing here. So this patent deals with the composition as described in any of the claims 1 to 3, wherein the weight average molecular weight of acid modified chlorinated polyolefin is 10,000 to 1,50,000. Well, this weight average molecular weight of acid modified, we don't know, but this is what is available in the dictionary, so we have to use it as it is. Let's see one more example. Looks difficult. Let's see. Okay, let's see first the substitution. A ga B kara erabareru. So if you see A ga and then B kara comes in the second line, that means one line can be replaced by A ga B kara. Then erabareru sukunaktomo ishuni taishi. Alpha beta we have replaced it earlier with the C kara erabareru sukunaktomo issue o 0 te nichi naishi 10% グラフ教授語してなることを特徴とする請求項後に記載の方法。So substituted with ABC are, substituted for the content is given in the center, that is san hense ensuka polyolefin with A, polypropylene oyobi propylene alpha olefin kyojugo thai as B, and alpha beta fuhova carbon san oyobi sono sammu suibutsu as C. And quite simple, the equivalents. Let's see. Basically what we did was we have increased the comfort level by decreasing or by removing the unfamiliar words with familiar words. Okay, let's now try to put 5W1H. Yes, Surabhi.
何について
方法について
どの方法
請求項後に記載の方法
どうして
特徴とする方法
何を特徴とする
something なること
何がなる
A がなる So now let's see the English equivalents. I think this is continuing probably, sorry. Okay.
どのように
0と1ないし10、10% グラフ教授語して、so it's して one process.
何を
You have to put O, and in this case it is issue O. So C から選ばれる少なくともissue O.
そして
B から選ばれる少なくとも一緒に対し。And when we see this proceeding in sequential process, that is substitution, next 5W1H, next fine tuning, it works well, particularly in the case of patent. Final translation will come, this is the initial translation, the method described in claim 5, wherein something form A by graft copolymerization of 0.1 to 10 weight percent, 0.10 weight percent of at least one compound selected, C with at least one compound selected out of B. This was not making good sense, so let's put back the elements that were substituted. The method as described in claim 5, wherein formed acid modified chlorinated polyolefin by graft copolymerization of 0.1 to 10 weight percent of at least one compound selected from among alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acid and 0.1 to 10 weight percent of at least one among its acid anhydrides with at least one compound selected out of polypropylene and propylene alpha olefin copolymers. When we do the fine tuning, then see what happens. This patent deals with the method as described in claim 5, clear up to here, wherein the acid modified chlorinated polyolefin is formed. So this formed from the beginning goes to the end of this particular segment, is formed by graft copolymerization of 0.1 to 10 weight percent of at least one compound selected between alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acid and its acid anhydrides with at least one compound selected out of the of polypropylene and propylene alpha olefin copolymers. The substitution plus 5W1H works. However, expressions such as Kunaktomo or Nitaishi can be dealt as unit. What you saw here in the fine tuning, you can probably ask a question that how do I know that formed will take is before it and it will go somewhere else. In case you have difficulty, apply 5W1H in transpositioning also. So when you do so, because you have already seen the original in the source language, application of 5W1H will help you in coming to the reasoning or the logic for putting something from your side. Well, that's all in this module. So let's see the learnings. Number one is, in any patent, either the claim is too long or there are too many claims. Altogether, they all look clumsy. So when something looks clumsy, you can't help it. Don't be emotional. You need to handle it mechanically. The units may be translated as per the existing corpus. That means you keep building corpus, and if you get the word or your unit which is already available, then bring the same. Otherwise, make some necessary modifications. And if need be, the necessary modifications can be made at a later stage also when you do the final touch or give a final touch to the sentence. Dropping unnecessary word, term components may improve the style. For example, dispersion composition. When you write only dispersion, it serves the purpose because dispersion is a composition only. So there is no need to use composition. So lighter the better. Context-based elements. For example, we used compound for shoe. This was an equivalent coming out of the context. 5W1H appears to be an important tool in translation. This has been established if you go back to the previous module also. And the substitution with the familiar or simple words reduces the pressure or increases the comfort level of the translator. These are the references for this module. And thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimashita. See you again for some other important components of patent in module 21.